Hello, hello, hello,
Hey,
everybody.
welcome, ladies. We're so excited that y'all are joining us tonight. We just want y'all to feel like you're going to have some conversations with fun girlfriend time. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do, right, ladies? Like, go to a coffee shop, go, have lunch with someone. And so, I just want to challenge you that wherever you are, just to be present in the conversation, because I believe that God will speak to you today. So, even if you have to lock yourself in the closet, away from the kids, or in the car, but just let this be your time. Grab a cup of tea or whatever that you want, but allow yourself to just, because I believe that you're going to leave inspired if you'll be present for the next couple of minutes. So I'm Amy Allgood from Florida, Shalimar, Florida, Destin. So a really fun place, probably where you vacation. So all right, what about my other friends? Y'all introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Cindy Sheppa, Prestige Director, brand new Prestige Director, and I live in Texas, Lindale, Texas. But right now I'm on vacation. I even have my bathing suit on the lake in North Carolina.
So fun.
Nice. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Lauren Bloomer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to be here with you guys tonight.
Yay, I love it. We got a lot East Coast representing tonight. So fun. Well, let's dive right in. And I would love, Lauren, to start with you with the first question is, tell me about just kind of how Mary Kay found you. Where were you at in your life and what made you say yes to this opportunity?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So 12 years ago, Mary Kay found me. I was actually a full-time music teacher working 60 plus hours a week, chorus. I was also planning my wedding, working on a master's degree, and singing in a cover band on the weekends. I was busy.
That's cool.
I was busy and kind of using that as a badge of honor. How you doing? I'm busy. What's new? Busy. And I knew I didn't want that for my life long term. So yeah, that's where Mary Kay found me 12 years ago. How about you, Amy?
That's so awesome. Well, it's funny. I was planning my wedding too when Mary Kay. That was like why I needed some cash. My mom and I still joke to this day because she thought it was crazy that I wanted seat covers. And she was like, that's such a waste of money. And I'm like, I'm going to go hold some Mary Kay appointments, to be able to have that. But, and I just want to say to all the ladies, I'd love for y'all, I forgot to say this, put it in the chat where you are from, right? You know where we're all from. Put that in the chat and who invited you. And I just want to say too, like, whoever invited you, she sees some pretty amazing qualities. So take it as a compliment because we don't just invite anyone. We really want to share our heart and what we love about what we do with women who we love and that we really think possess a lot of the qualities that we would want to work with. So it is a big compliment. So I was in corporate America and I thought, I was going to rise to the ranks and become the CEO. And I just learned really, really quickly that although I was successful in the world's eyes, it was not resonating with me any longer. And I was not being fulfilled. And I think so many successful, high achieving women, there is something that they feel is like missing, right? And a part of that was I was not strong in my faith at the time. Again, I'm thankful Mary Kay brought me back to that. But really, it was just like I wanted to make a difference. And I can really remember graduating from college and having this conversation with my dad saying, Dad, like I want to make really great money because I grew up with two parents who were teachers. And so money was always a struggle. But also I wanted to make like a really positive impact in the world. And it didn't seem like there were a lot of career opportunities that you could do both. So that was where I got started in corporate to kind of like make money. And I thought, okay, one day I'll start like a nonprofit. But then Mary Kay intervened or God intervened. And I really saw this opportunity where I could still make great money and still make an impact. And I was also thinking about my future family one day. I've always been very future oriented. So at the time when I started, I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, but that was literally my purpose and my why so early on. And I just think sometimes it's so funny how God operates that we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. And 5 years after I started, I had probably still one of the scariest situations in my life where my first child almost didn't make it and was in the hospital for 2 months. And I had that flexibility. And so I just was never more thankful and grateful for this opportunity when that happened. So any of the women listening, maybe you're not in a crisis. Maybe some of you are, but I would just encourage you not to wait for the crisis in your life to get the plan B in place, because my life would have looked very different. We would have had to go, if I would have stayed at corporate, we would have lost one income. I mean, the financial stress that would have caused on top of the emotional stress. So you just don't know. So I'm just I would just say, I'm just so grateful that I was thinking ahead. So even if you're thinking, I don't need this right now, you never know when you may. So Cindy, so tell us, I want to bounce it over to you and get you in on the conversation. So maybe I'll give you to ask Lauren the next one.
Okay, awesome. So where do you want me to answer the question about where I was when Mary Kay found me?
Sure, you can.
Okay. I was like, do I ask a question or do I? Okay. So I was kind of in the same place that Amy was. I was young, I was single, and Lauren too. Like, you didn't have kids either, or you were planning a wedding, so we were kind of all, in our probably early 20s, and I was a teacher. And so like Amy's parents, I was really living month to month on my paycheck and really needed a way to make some extra money on the side in a really flexible way, because like Lauren, I was not as busy as Lauren, but I had a very, very full plate, and, but I needed extra money, and I wanted to get out of credit card debt. And so I would have never imagined that Mary Kay would have been the vehicle to not only get me out of debt, but also be the vehicle that would change my life forever. Right. And that would be my dream job. Like, never imagined, right? But I started because I wanted to make extra money, and I really didn't know anything about skincare or makeup or how to teach people how to do it or how to run a business. My whole family was blue collar. My mom was a teacher. My dad worked at a cement plant. Really middle class, but I knew that I was never going to know unless I tried. And I knew that I was teachable and trainable. And that really is all I ask of my team, is that they're just open to learn, because we can teach you. Right. So I started just to make an extra $100 a week and pay off my credit card debt. And within my first 4 months was able to pay off $8,000 in credit card debt by just working it very part-time. So that was the first dream that I financed in my Mary Kay business, was to pay off that debt that I had. And so that just leads me to the next question, is like, what dream has Mary Kay allowed you to finance through this journey, Lauren? And like, when did you kind of realize that Mary Kay could be a vehicle to finance dreams?
Yeah, so let me back up a little bit, because I feel like I didn't finish my story. I didn't tell you why I said yes finally. Yeah. I just told you where I was, and I was insecure, I was broken, I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. I found out very quick in teaching that the reward for good work was more work.
Yeah.
More money. And I just kind of had this hole. I couldn't describe it, but I knew that something was missing. I think, Amy, you mentioned that, but I didn't know what it was. Also, I didn't love my skin. You would have never seen me without makeup. I do mean ever. I was that girl on the treadmill with a full face of makeup because I didn't want anyone to see my skin underneath. So when I sat in front of the tray and mirror and I tried the products, I fell in love. So I was a customer for a very long time. No to the business. No, won't do that. Too busy. But finally I got on a phone call, kind of like you're listening to tonight. And I heard hope. I heard hope. I had the thought of like, what if? And the woman who was speaking, who is a national sales director, she had the life that I could have only dreamed of. She told me that every day felt like Friday because she was designing her life, designing her schedule. She was excited for her life. She was excited about things. She had passion. She had joy. And I thought, what if? And I didn't have kids at the time, but it was really important to me that when I did have children, that I'd be able to work from home, make my own schedule, make my own hours, not have to miss anything. And you know why I signed? It was for hope. It was for my future self. It was for my future mother self. And that answers your second question. What has this given to me? It's given me the opportunity. I was able to leave my teaching career 7 years ago and do this full time. And now that I have children, I have a 3.5-year-old and I have a 14-month-old. And you guys, I love my life so much that I get to work from home. I get to pick my hours, design my day, when I'll work, when I won't work, when I'm going on vacation, when I'm not. And I cannot even tell you what that means. So I'm so glad that I listened and I, kind of thought to myself, what if this could be the vehicle for that? And I'm so glad. That's been the greatest dream that has come true, to be able to have the control of my schedule, of my day, of my income, right? Because we can take control of that. So that's been the greatest gift. Cindy, how about you?
Well, mine was the first, my first dream that I financed was that. And that's really, y'all, I should be real. I was dream handicapped. I was like, my biggest dream before Mary Kay was to be able to pay all my bills and not have to eat ramen noodles at the end of the month. Like, that was my biggest dream. Like, when I was a little girl, I had big dreams, but then life got in the way and stifled that. And I feel like, so don't y'all feel like that today's society and today's world, that so many people have lost their dream ability? Like, they have become dream handicapped. And I love the fact that Mary Kay has given me the ability to dream again and the vehicle to make those dreams a reality. That first dream that I financed, 22 years ago has fueled me to see, oh my gosh, this is a way that I can really finance dreams in my life. And my biggest dream that I have financed to this day is to retire my husband from his job in corporate America. And Lauren, we were on the first Top Director trip together right after my husband retired from corporate America. And Lauren, I remember this so clearly. I mean, this was 7 years ago. And I remember you saying that you were continued to teach as a music teacher, as a sales director, a very successful sales director, Cadillac director, and you earned your first Top Director trip to Alaska.
Yep.
And they would not give you time off.
No.
And you were like, see ya.
It was really, really tough because I had worked all year because my husband really wanted that trip. He's a fisherman, has a fishing app. So he wanted to go salmon fishing. So that was my drive. And when I said to them, this is what I earned, I'd love to go. I'll take unpaid days, whatever you have to do. And they said, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to replace me. And that was easier said than done, right? Like, it didn't really go like that. There were tears. However, here's what I'll say. I know God was in the details of all of that, because I don't know that I don't know how long it would have taken me to let go, because there was a safety, right? There was a safety. And yet the year that I left, so the year that I met you in Alaska, we had our best year ever. I felt more free, and like the chains had been taken off than I'd ever felt in my life. And so I'm grateful for that. And yes, I still remember that vividly. And that trip is very near and dear to my heart.
Love it. I love it. So Amy, what about you? I know you
Well, I'd love to ask Lauren kind of a follow-up question. So, so what I heard you were just saying is that you had this passion for teaching, clearly, right? Like, else you would have left it way earlier than you did.
Oh yeah.
So you were operating from a career here, and then this turned into a career.
Yes.
So would you, because I believe that there'll be women sometimes that are watching this, right? And so like, I hated my corporate job, but you clearly loved what you were doing prior. And so sometimes people feel like they have to make a choice, or they don't know the timing to make the choice. So will you touch on that a little bit, and kind of how you were able to operate in both of those? Because that you really had two careers happening at the same time.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. So I have to say, part of it was just I didn't have kids at that time. So it was, it was my husband and I. So I had a little bit more time. Those of you who have kids, you know what I'm talking about. But it was really just, I knew what I wanted my life to look like. And even though I did love what I did at school, I knew that I didn't want that long term. I knew that someday when I had children, I was working for my future self. I wanted the freedom and flexibility. I wanted to design my day design. So I worked hard in that season, but I knew that the short-term sacrifice would turn into the long-term gain. And honestly, I mean, at that time I was doing really well. I had two nice incomes coming in, and I was just working smart with Mary Kay in the pockets of time, because remember, this was 60 plus hours. I didn't have many other hours, but I worked Mary Kay consistently. And in doing that, I was able to drive a pink Cadillac. I was able to earn the first trip. So I just was praying the whole time. I was just prayerful, like, God, not my will, but yours be done. Show me, give me the sign, give me the timing. You know, he was really in control of that. And so I knew when they denied the trip,
That was a sign.
it was such, I mean, it was all God, right? It was hard work and all God. And I just knew. So I hope that answers your question, but I guess it was just really trusting that I was working hard in that season. But you know, when you look at comparatively, this school was taking up so much and kept asking for more, and they weren't willing to give me more, nothing, right? It was just, it is what it is. And over here, it was like, oh my gosh, and you get this and you get that.
The more you put into it, yeah, the more you get from it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always say, you know, that we have no control over our income as teachers, right? And so I could stay up there late. I could go up there on the weekend. I would make exactly the same money as the person that went home when the kids went home. So I love in Mary Kay, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And you can increase your income. You can, you know, you do have control over that. You have control over your schedule and all that. And Lauren, I think you really give people hope. And, you know, I think that that's something that may stop people from saying yes to a Mary Kay business, is that they're like, I love my job. You know, I love my job, but most people probably could use some extra money on the side, right? And you built a very successful career, obviously, alongside of working 60 hours a week, you know, in the education and in music and all the things. And so you have proven that you can have both. You know, you can have both if you choose to. That's the thing. Choices. I love that. So
yeah. No, I love it. I love the fact you could have both right alongside. The second I knew that I could live on what I was making at Mary Kay, I was out of corporate because it was miserable, right? So it is great, absolutely, to be able to have both, but that you can build something really phenomenal. I mean, right, driving a pink Cadillac to your other job, that's awesome. Well, let me wrap up with one more question, and then I want to share and tell the ladies what we're looking for. So, and put it in the chat, y'all, just anything that you've heard that you resonate with, whether it's from Lauren or Cindy or myself, that's you've connected with. So Lauren, what would you say right now? You know, there are a lot of choices for women out there today to pick different things or to try different side hustles or to try a different career. But what would you say to the women today listening to say, why Mary Kay and why Mary Kay now?
Well, first I have to just talk about the amazing products we have because they're the best. Literally, I can be in a room and she uses Mary Kay. You can do that. And if you haven't used Mary Kay in a while, you should get with your beauty consultant because really there's a difference. Our culture. So the fact that our foundational principles are built upon God first, family second, career third, and that it's been the same for over 60 years, that I believe sets us apart so much. The fact that we prayed before we came on here tonight, because that's the culture. So the words that are popping in my mind are uncommon culture, a culture where there's a sisterhood, where there's women supporting you that want to see you succeed. That, you know, when you get assigned a recruiter or a sales director, she wants to see you succeed. It will be one of her greatest joys in her business. That's uncommon. Right. In most cultures, most places, it's nobody helped me. Nobody cared. You know, they were tearing me down. And it's uncommon in most places to have a hand extended at every level to say, here, let me help you up. Here, let me help you up. And I think truly that's what sets us apart. That's what sets us apart. I mean, the products are amazing, but if you take that away, it wouldn't matter what we sold. It's the uncommon culture. There is a certain type of woman that is drawn like a magnetic force to Mary Kay. And that's why I say yes every single day. And I say, thank you, Lord, that I said yes because of the women, because of the culture, because of the sharpening, right? Because we become like the people we're surrounded with. So when you're around people that are sharpening you, that makes you better. And in turn, that makes your life better. So that's what I would say. And I would love to hear, Amy, your thoughts too.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said an uncommon culture. And, we do hear, I mean, one of the biggest things I tell my kids all the time, and I pray for them, is that they will find the right friends.
Yes.
Because I know, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And we get to pick who we do life with and business with. And I love the fact that we call our area a family, not just an area, not just a business. It's so much more than that. And I see so many women. Actually, I was just listening to a podcast today that says this next generation is the loneliest generation. And my heart just breaks for that, because, they're learning, like, we have a world screaming at them that you can do everything on your own in this autonomy. And in Mary Kay, it's such a collaboration, even what we're doing today, right? And working together, other women, because we all have different gifts to bring to the table. And so to celebrate that Mary Kay did not believe in putting people down or pointing out, your, your weaknesses. And I remember at corporate, like, that's all that they gave. Like, I never got praise, not one time. It was always about, this is what you need to work on. This is what you need to fix. And so I just love that we get to build up women, and then women that we're building up are building up the next generation of women in their home. And that is truly my heart. Like, I have such a heart for moms, and I want to see that, like, they pass that on. And, you guys come from the teaching world. My parents were both teachers, but at the end of the day, still, if you look at it, the number one influence for a child when it comes to their faith walk is their parents. So when I think about, helping the moms to know the priorities of what you talked about, Lauren, of God, family, career, because I certainly never got that example growing up, and I didn't get that example in corporate America. So I love that it's so much deeper than what we're doing. There is an eternal difference that we are truly making. And, like, it makes me emotional. And so that is, for me, why I get up and do this. It has really nothing to do with, like, the money or the prizes or all that. I loved all that earlier on, but the older and wiser, I would say, that I get, not just older and wiser, but it's what are those things that are going to make the lasting and eternal difference, and that we get to do that and impart that in women that will overflow into generations to come. So I just really want to just talk to the women who are listening today that you are invited, because I love, Lauren, that you said there's this, like, magnetic pull. And so I think the most valuable thing that all of us would agree on is our time. Nobody likes, like, I hate wasting time. I'm sure you're the same way. So we want to help people find the right match, if this is the right match for you or not. And so we are looking for women that have a couple qualities. And this, actually, what I'm going to share with you are really the 5 things that actually high achieving women often seek. And so I just want to, first of all, say that there's different places for women to land in Mary Kay. So if you are someone who just wants to have some extra cash, you may love your job, you may love your lifestyle, but you're like, I love some extra cash, maybe to go get a massage, or, just to, like, treat myself, or maybe you're in a season that you're home with the kids, but you feel like you want to contribute a little bit to the family, or kind of find a value there, or, be able to go and do whatever you want with your kids and not have to check the bank account, right? Or maybe you're in a season that, you're having to take care of your parents, or there's just this added expense, or maybe you just want to be smart and wise and save. One of our biggest dreams coming true right now is I'm literally getting to hire, like, this guy that I wanted to build an outdoor experience for me. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's like this crazy dream, but it's like your consistency of what you said, Lauren, it's like over that time. So you may want to save. Like, I see so many women who literally don't save anything. And they're like, well, how did you have these bigger dreams? It wasn't just overnight. It was my husband and I saving for years, right, to be able to do some of these things. So maybe you're just looking at your bank account and you're like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good, but we have no money to save. Like, what if I want to do something in 10, 15 years for my grandkids, So whatever it is. So I just want to say, if you don't feel like, oh my gosh, these are not my qualities, it's not that Mary Kay didn't have a place for you, but we are looking for the next generation of leaders as well. Just like all of us, when Mary Kay found us, it didn't make us a leader. It was already inside of us. God already put that in us. We just needed to find the right platform to, like, exercise that and let God work through us, right? And so I believe we have some women listening today that are those type of women that you just haven't found your place. You've been successful at wherever you're at, but you haven't felt that fulfillment. And that's actually number one. The number one thing that high achieving women want that they're probably not getting in a career is fulfillment. That they want work that aligns with their values and their passions and their purpose. They want to make that meaningful difference. And so a lot of times that is actually elevated by who they work with. If you talk to high achieving women, that's a huge thing. And so again, we've already kind of touched on that. The second thing that high achieving women want in a career is they want personal development. They don't want to just learn the skills of whatever their trade is. They aim for, an environment of learning and skill development and advancement in their careers. They really want that work-life balance. So when you get that personal development, it's fulfilling that piece of that. The third thing is that they value flexibility. We all talked about that and how we value that, but they do want to be able to prioritize their professional and their personal lives. All of us right now are probably going to do something today that requires flexibility. My son is having a friend come over and my dad is going to see them and take them and do baseball. And then we're going to do something later. And then, I have to go just my whole day, right? Every day requires a level of choices and flexibility. And so when women are high achieving and they don't have that, they almost feel trapped, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they're just stuck in this cage and they want to be free. I think what y'all said, freedom, right? When you went on the trip. And so there's this amazing giant inside of them, but they just haven't been lit out into the world, right? And so I think it's so cool how many women never knew they have entrepreneurship. I have a woman right now who's actually a teacher and she's coming to our annual seminar, but she messaged me after we met, I think even before she signed up. And I don't even remember what I said, but she had an entrepreneurial spirit and that resonated with her. But I don't think anybody else called that out. So, you have women that call out these gifts inside of you. And then the fourth thing that high achieving women want in a career is they want someone to appreciate, acknowledge, recognize their effort and what they're doing. And I want y'all to think right now, put a good amen in the chat. If you would love at whatever you're doing, whether it's in your home life or at your career, that someone would acknowledge your hard work that you're doing. So you want also a fair compensation and the opportunities for your gifts, for the leadership roles, not just like what you said, Lauren, right? You're working more, but you're not getting more.
Yeah.
And the last thing, y'all, number 5, did y'all notice I haven't said money yet? So that's actually number 5, but high achieving women, there's actually 4 more things they value greater than actual money, right? And I would say, I could speak on behalf of all 3 of us, that we could all go do a lot of different things in life and make great money and be successful because of who we are. So we have chosen this because of those 4 other things that we value. And so yes, the money can be there if you have the work ethic like all of us. But again, it's, there's just so much more to that. So whether you're looking to have that extra $100 a week or, $5,000, $25,000 a month, all of that is available. I was telling someone last night we had a goal setting night, and the year I joined Mary Kay, because they were asking something about retirement. I don't know how it came up. So my position, I have we get a family security program. So I was talking about that. And they were like, oh, you have to retire. I said, no, only at my position, do you have to retire? I think I was telling them, because 2 of our new girls are going to seminar. I was talking about Pam Shaw, and I gave them something of hers. And I said, y'all are going to actually hear her speech. She's going to retire. So it brought up the whole retirement conversation. I said, when I joined Mary Kay, my senior national was retiring, Arlene Linares. And I said, she was a nurse prior to Mary Kay. And so her retirement, she was going to get paid this for 15 years, $47,000 a month. And they almost all fell out of their chair. What? So I don't know really a lot of places that you can be an entrepreneur and work for yourself and still have that type of future to plan for. So Cindy, would you wrap us up? I'm sure there are some women that are like, okay, stop talking to me and tell me how I can join.
I know, right? So I'd love for you guys to drop in the chat out of those 5 things that Amy talked about that high achieving women are wanting: the freedom and flexibility, the friendship, the culture, the impact that you can have in people's lives, the frivolous, the fun, the the diamond rings and dream vacations and the recognition, right? The appreciation that none of us got before Mary Kay, really, or the finances, that financial freedom. So kind of those 4 F's, the freedom, flexibility, and fun, the friendships, that Mary Kay culture, right? The frivolous, that recognition, the diamonds, the all the prizes that we get, and the financial stability.
And the
fulfillment. Yes, that's another F. Okay, good. I love it. We'll write that down. Okay, so drop in the comments which one resonates with you the most, like which one lights you up the most. And then, we are here to not just share about Mary Kay with you and kind of share our story and our journey, but also invite you to be a part of our Mary Kay family and take that step into that pink bubble that we like to call, right? And so you have several choices with Mary Kay, and we love that. And because we love choices as women, don't we? And so you can actually start a Mary Kay business today for as little as $35, which totally blows my mind. It was not $35 when I started, or Amy started, or Lauren started. It was $100 for all 3 of us. But you can start for as little as $35. You get your website, your shopping website, where people can shop 24/7. Mary Kay maintains that completely. You do not have to build a website, okay? I have had people come in and go, I don't know how to build a website. Like, no, sister. We have that for you. You just put your name and information in for it. And then we also, that's for an entire year. And then we also have our ProPay, which is our credit card processing that's connected to your website so people can shop and they can pay right there online. And that also opens up the door for all the other benefits that you have in Mary Kay. Being able to shop for yourself for 50% off, getting the mentorship and the coaching that you get with a Mary Kay business, and all the education and all the other things that we talked about. It opens the door for you for that. You also could have the option to start as a pro start, where everybody starts with the E-Start, which is 35, and then you can upgrade to our pro start, and that is an actual kit that you get for an additional $90. It gives you over $400 worth of product. And then you can also upgrade to a little sample kit. That's a lot of samples that you can give out to people for a discounted price. So those are your options. Your Mary Kay consultant can send you more details about that. But we would love to hear your opinion. Okay. And where you kind of lie in starting your own Mary Kay business. So you're going to be an A, B, or C, and you're going to drop this in the comments. Okay. So an A is absolutely, it's $35. You guys sounds like that. Y'all sound like fun. So I want to be a part of that. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, or how to do any of this, but if you're going to teach me, let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay. So that's A, absolutely. B is, you've intrigued me, but book me for an MK Q&A, book me for an experience. I have a few questions to ask. And so that's B. Okay. So if you feel like you need more information than what you got here, you're going to put a B. A C is, you know what? You guys are great, but I'm just going to remain a happy customer. I don't mind paying full price. I like supporting my consultant and buying product from her. I'm just going to be a happy customer, which we love our customers. We would not be here if we didn't have our customers. So drop that in the comments. And we just want to thank you guys for taking 30 minutes out of your time tonight to learn a little bit more and hear our stories. And we would love for you guys to be a part of this Mary Kay world with us. So thank you guys so much.
Good night, everybody. Bye.